Okay. First of all, thank you all for joining us today. Today, we're going to be talking about how to sell confidently with a little help from AI, one of our favorite topics. And we really appreciate you deciding to spend an hour of your day with us. We definitely don't take that lightly. And my best guess is that you're here because you want more sales, right? And you want more sales in an easy way. So you're absolutely in the right place. We promise to give you some very powerful takeaways that you can start using right away in your businesses. And just a little bit of housekeeping before we dive in. Cameras on if possible, please. I understand if you can't, but we're all about creating engaging communities and presence. So this is going to be a highly interactive presentation today. We want to hear from you all in the chat. And if you do have questions that come up throughout the presentation and the workshop, feel free to drop them in the chat and we'll make sure that we have some time at the end for Q&A. All right. So I want to kick us off by having you think back to your last sales call. Okay, so the last one that you had with the prospect. If you felt calm and in control, I want you to type the word steady in the chat. But on the other hand, if your palms were sweaty, type sweaty. So were you steady or sweaty? Okay.
All right, I see steady and sweaty, steady, sweaty, steady, steady if it can be better.
I know when I first started doing sales calls, my hands were always sweaty
Sweaty.
and like cold sweaty. Okay, so no matter whether you're steady or sweaty today, I promise you we're going to have some really amazing tips. I just like to see. Okay. All right, thanks for sharing, everyone. All right, so first off, you're in the right place if you're a coach, consultant, course creator, creative, so really any type of high ticket service-based business who takes sales calls. Okay, so if you could just let us know in the chat, like how would you describe yourself in business? Are you a health coach, a business coach, a course creator? Do you run masterminds? Like, what do you do? And don't worry if that's not quite, one of your niches, like you're totally going to get value from today either way. So don't worry.
Services, consultant trainer, custom home build coach with private group program,
Cool.
consultant, coach, consultant, energy healer and mentor.
Okay, cool. Awesome. And we're so happy to have you all. All right, so the promise of today is we're going to share with you the mindset shifts and the strategies that you must have in place to be able to sell your high ticket offer confidently and authentically on your sales calls so that you can close more clients with ease. Okay. And for everyone that's here, we're going to give you one of our favorite freebie GPTs that we've made. It's called the Premium Pricing GPT. And that is going to help you feel really confident in the pricing of your offer. And that's the first step to having more confidence on your sales calls. So this GPT actually went semi-viral when we released it because it is that damn powerful. Okay, so you're definitely going to want to try it. And we're going to do a little demo of that for you today. All right, so a question for you all. What do you think is the fastest and easiest way to get more sales? Let me know in the chat. What are your ideas? What do you think? Fastest and easiest way to get more sales.
See, I see clear messaging, get more calls, build trust, effective marketing, improve conversion, closing the leads you get, previous clients.
Yep. Okay. All right. So the fastest, easiest way to get more sales is to close more of the calls you're already having. Okay, so the mistake that a lot of entrepreneurs make when they're not getting as many sales as they want is that they think the answer is that they need more leads. And now, why it's not necessarily wrong, it's just a much longer, harder, slower path to more sales. So if you think about it, if you want to generate more leads to get more calls booked, you've got to go create a bunch of content, send out a lot of emails, maybe hire a marketer or run paid ads, and that is a lot of work, right? But instead, if you commit to learning the strategies that we're going to show you today to sell better on the calls that you already have booked in your calendar, you could start closing more clients as soon as tomorrow without any extra work, right? So think about this. If you could close just one or two more high ticket clients every month, what would that do for your business in a year? Right? That's 12 to 24 more high ticket clients per year. And let's say your offer is 5K. That's an extra 60 to $120,000 a year without doing any extra work. That's just by getting better at closing the calls you already have. And that's pretty huge, right? So I just want you to think for a moment about how much revenue you could be leaving on the table because just something did not click on the sales call. It could have been a hidden objection or a missed opportunity to clearly state the value of your offer, right? It could have been an awkward price drop, right? Where your confidence just dropped and tanked when you were about to say the price. Or it could have even just been your energy was off that day, right? Like something wasn't showing up for you. So, do you think that learning how to sell confidently so you can close more of the calls you're already having would help your business, right? Type yes if you think that would help. Like if that would help you reach your goals. Would love to hear.
B is yes, Aparna's yes, Laurie is yes, Suze is yes, 100%. All
Yes,
right, lots of yeses.
we know this is true. Yes. Okay, so let's talk about that. So, in order to close more of the calls you already have, there are three things that need to be in place. Okay, so three things that we're going to be really focusing on today. The first is confidence. And confidence when you sell is so important because you could have the best sales script in the world, but if you lack confidence when you're on a sales call, it will show. And your prospects will definitely feel it. Okay, and then they're going to be less likely to buy. And if you don't believe in your offer, if you don't feel confident about your price, why should they? Okay, so we're going to show you a really simple way that AI can help boost your confidence on sales calls today. The second thing is a great sales call framework. And so this allows you to ask the right questions, to clearly articulate the value of your offer, and know exactly what to say and when, so that you can confidently handle every sales call and lead your prospect to a yes, right? If it's a good fit, of course. So it's having that repeatable structure and process so that you're not winging it every time you get on a call. And the third is objection handling. Good old objection handling. So, knowing how to handle and reframe objections is the third thing that you need to build confidence for your sales call. And we're going to show you a simple and very powerful way to use AI to help you master your objection handling so you feel calm and you feel clear no matter what a prospect throws your way. Okay, so those are the three things we are going to be sharing with you today.
So, who are we? I know there's some new faces in the audience today, so we're just going to take a minute to introduce ourselves. I am Lauren Capwell, and between the two of us, me and the other Lauren, I'm the nerd. I'm an aerospace engineer, and I spent the last 11 years of my career designing and building rockets for the aerospace industry. So, I have always loved new cutting edge technology and helping companies to grow. And Lauren and I have been best friends for about the last 4 years. And about 2.5 years ago, we decided to combine our skills, her sales skills with my tech skills, to start our business helping entrepreneurs use these AI tools like ChatGPT to grow their business. So we quit our jobs, we left our homes, we started traveling the world. We're living our best digital nomad lives. And we've been to Bali, Thailand, Mexico, and that's actually a picture of us at Machu Picchu last year in Peru, because freedom is really one of our core values.
Yeah. And just to share a little bit about my story and my journey in sales. So, I got into online business for the same reason that so many of us do, and that was freedom. And ultimately, for me, I wanted freedom to spend more time with my family. I wanted freedom of location, and financial freedom. And I knew that if I wanted to really collapse time and succeed faster, that the smartest thing I could do was learn directly from people who were already doing what I wanted to do, and they were doing it very successfully, and they were doing it in a way that was aligned with like how I wanted to live and lead. So for a few years, working behind the scenes, I was a sales rep for multiple eight-figure business coaches. And over that time, I took over 2,000 high ticket sales calls. Like, let me just tell you, 2,000 sales calls is a lot. I was taking at times up to five or six sales calls a day, which was exhausting. But I sold over $5 million in high ticket coaching programs. And through all of those conversations, I learned a lot. It was actually like a massive education experience for me because I learned not just about like what works and what doesn't in sales, but about what makes people trust you, what makes them hesitate, and what makes them actually say yes with utter confidence. So it was really cool because I got to see the inner workings of very successful businesses. And I got to see, what made them tick, what created more success for them, and where things fell apart. But I also started to notice something that didn't sit well with me. And so some of the strategies that were being taught to us by these like celebrity sales trainers, while they may have been effective, right, they felt very rigid and just like not in alignment with how I wanted to sell. And they even felt manipulative at times. And so it created this like inner battle and tension in me between what was proven to work to like, only care about the conversions and what actually felt good and ethical. And so this shift happened when I finally started trusting my way of selling, which was intuitively, with empathy, and from the heart. And that's actually when I started closing more calls. And at the end of these calls, I was feeling energized instead of drained. Okay. And the other thing was, I was building these really deep connections with people in the conversations, and it just felt really good. But not everyone liked that. And at one company, even though I was the top salesperson, they brought in this big name sales trainer who I've never shared this story publicly before, but he wanted us to all stick to this one very rigid script. And I will never forget this. Twice, he completely tore apart my sales calls in front of the whole team. And it wasn't because they weren't working. I mean, clearly they were working because I was the top salesperson, but they didn't match his formula. And so after that experience, my confidence took this huge hit. I started second guessing what I was doing in my sales calls, and my conversions dropped. And so that was the moment where I really had to like take a pause and see like I wasn't meant to fit into someone else's mold, right? Like I want to create a better one, like one that resonates with me. And so that's when I left that industry, and that's when Lauren and I decided to go into business together, just as ChatGPT came on the scene in late 2022. So what's really cool is we have these complementary skills because Lauren's tech skills combined with my sales skills, and that's what we've, used to create a program that allows entrepreneurs to leverage AI in a way where they can sell authentically. So what we're going to show you today is one piece of what we do inside of our training. So we're kind of like pulling back the curtain. So you're going to get a behind the scenes look of what we do with our clients. And obviously, I can't teach you all of my top sales skills in under an hour, but I know I can do a damn good job in 6 very focused weeks. So if today does resonate with you and you want to go deeper into mastering this in your own business, we're hosting a 6 week authentic sales challenge that's starting soon. And I'm going to be sharing more about that at the end if you're interested. All right, so let's get into it. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen again. All right.
All right. So, the first thing that you need to have in place to close more sales is confidence in your price and the true value of your offer. Now, the biggest place on sales calls where most people lack confidence is in the price of their offer because they don't truly understand its full value. And this is also where limiting beliefs really tend to creep in. So, what they'll do is lower their price to try to compensate. But even at that lower price, it really doesn't fix the core issue of not understanding and fully believing in the value of their offer. Now, if you don't understand all of the ways that your offer provides value, and that's not just monetary value like ROI, but also the emotional value as well, then you're always going to lack confidence on sales calls when it's time to say the price. And your prospect is going to feel it, and they're less likely to say yes. Because if you don't have confidence and belief in your offer, why should they? So underpricing your offer is costing a lot more money than you realize. And Lauren and I actually looked this up. According to QuickBooks, in 2024, 50% of women small business owners say that they are underpricing their offers. And while that number is 50%, the hidden cost is actually a lot bigger because every 10% you shave off of your price means 10% less cash for
And
marketing,
unexpected
hiring,
headlines with
or
a group
just
of
paying
mischievous
yourself.
squirrels will now help
Now,
them gather
I'll take care
information
of that, Laura.
about the local forest.
Okay, got it.
Okay. All right, thanks. All right, so let's talk about this. So if you could be earning $100,000 a year in scenario A, and you are taking 10% off your price, that means every single year you're losing $10,000. And when you let compound interest do its thing, after 10 years, that's $130,000 of lost revenue, which is like a kid's college fund. Or in scenario B, if you could be making $200,000, that's $20,000 lost every single year, or $276,000 after 10 years, which is like a down payment on a rental or hiring a full-time marketer for 3 years. So that little 10% haircut is really not just a rounding error because over a decade, that's the six-figure wealth leak. So before you ever get on a sales call, we really want you to be confident in your value and pricing. And just imagine for a second how it would feel to charge the true value of the results that you get for your clients and say it with absolute certainty and confidence because you really believe it, right? It's getting that pricing confidence so you can quote the true value of your offer without that internal flinch. So the point that we really want to drive home here is this. A lack of confidence in your pricing and value will always cause you to sell your offer for less and will lead to closing fewer calls. So this is the shift that we really want you to make, is to have total confidence and belief in the value of your offer. And that's exactly what our free premium pricing GPT does in 2 minutes flat. So let me show you how it works. And I'm going to pick an example here. Let me share my screen. Okay, so this is what it looks like. Super simple to use. All you have to do is just click the button in the middle right here where it says maximize my value. And the GPT is going to ask us some questions. What's the main result or transformation of your offer? Who's the ideal client? What's the duration or structure? What benefits do they get? And what price range are you considering? All right. So the example I'm going to use is a dating coach, and she helps introverted men who are successful but socially awkward to find lasting love. I'll go ahead and hit send. The way her program works, it's a 6-month one-on-one coaching program. They get live weekly calls. She helps them find women who are a good match, pace the relationship, how to plan dates, what to say in their dating profiles, live coaching on texting, all of that kind of stuff. And it's a $7,000 offer. And the reason that I chose this example is because you might not immediately see all of the ways that this offer provides value, especially if you have an offer like this, where it seems a little bit intangible and it's more emotional. However, here's the positioning statement. So the one big result, something that you can say in a single breath that immediately communicates what your offer is about, helping socially awkward, introverted men attract and build lasting relationships with the right woman, leading to love, marriage, and a family, right? So you can say it in a single breath. It's instantly understandable, instantly memorable. This is also one of the key parts of being able to sell your offer with confidence, is to be able to clearly and succinctly say what you do, where people think, wow, like I want that. All right. Now my favorite part, because I'm a numbers geek, is the value-based pricing analysis. So here's what AI is coming up with. They get to avoid 5+ years of loneliness, bad dates, and mismatched relationships. The emotional total plus the time savings. If you take 5 years times $20 an hour times 200 hours a year, that's $20,000. Avoiding costly dating mistakes, trips, gifts, or therapy after bad breakups, at least $5,000. gaining a life partner sooner, which means like increased life satisfaction, dual income support, conservatively improved quality of life, productivity, and well-being, $25,000 plus in value. The live texting, the Voxer, in the moment breakthroughs, so it's estimating that at $3,000. Plus the emotional mastery and confidence and that ripple effect into their careers and other relationships, the conservative impact on their leadership, their presence, and their communication, at least $10,000. What's really cool is it comes up with things I never would have even thought of, but are still extremely valid. And then it gives a final pricing recommendation down here. Now, the final pricing recommendation is not the most important thing, but this list is what we want you to have in mind when you're on your sales calls and it's time to say the price so that you are really confident in your pricing and your prospect is going to feel it. Make sense?
Yeah, and I'll just share, we have had such an amazing response from people trying out that GPT, saying like how it has changed like everything about how they think about their offer. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to drop the link to that GPT in the chat right now. Laura, you want to take care of that?
Yep, I'll drop it in the chat.
But we also, you can go ahead and click it and open it up, but then come right back, right? So
Yep.
so don't actually use it just yet. We want you to pay attention and be present for the rest of the presentation, and then you'll have time to use it. All right.
All right. So the second thing you need to build your confidence is having a repeatable sales call framework to follow for every call that you take. Now, a lot of entrepreneurs tend to wing it, and this is one of the biggest mistakes that's going to keep your sales conversion rates lower than they should be. And we know that sales scripts can be a little bit controversial, so this is our hot take. Now, Pablo Picasso said, master the rules so you can break them like an artist. And the way that we think of the sales script is that it helps you to master the rules of selling. You want to master the script first so that you can go off script and wing it like a pro. Because once you've really internalized your script and you know it by heart, that's the key that allows you to be authentic, natural, and intuitive on sales conversations. Now, a simple version of the sales call framework looks like this. Step 1 is building rapport. Step 2 is ask your discovery questions. Then you're going to pitch your offer. You're going to drop the price. You're going to handle objections and then close the call. And we don't have time to go deep into our entire sales call framework today, so we're just going to focus on the price drop and the objection handling because those are the top 2 spots in the sales call script where entrepreneurs tend to lose confidence and that costs them sales. So after you've finished your pitch, then it's going to be time to say the price. Oh, yeah, we're talking about the price drop. So after you finish your pitch, then it's going to be time to say your price. And your prospect knows that you're about to say the price. And if they're interested in your offer, their emotions are going to be running high. They're going to be feeling a mix of hopeful and anxious and all the things. So there's a few things that we do here that really helps them to feel in control and puts their mind at ease. So the first thing we do is we transition to the price drop by asking them, where do you want to go from here? And most of the time they're going to say that they want to know the price. And if they don't say that, then you can just ask, the only thing left to cover is the investment. Does that sound good? Now, when you ask them where they want to go, it really makes them feel more in control. And it also makes the conversation feel a lot more collaborative. So they're really engaging with you and they're leaning in and they're not just passively listening. And even though they feel a little bit more in control, they're still feeling anxious because they know that you're about to say the price. And by the way, if you want to, you can screenshot this slide because this is gold. Now, before you say the price, you're going to put their mind at ease again by letting them know what steps are going to happen next when they say yes. And this is straight from our own sales script. And this is how we like to say it. We say, awesome. Here's how it works. We'll get started together. So you'll process the investment with me. Once we take care of that, we'll get you set up right away. I'll send you over a document to review, get you set up in our system so you have access to the entire training program and get you into the community of entrepreneurs to mastermind with. Then we're ready to hit the ground running. Make sense? Okay, then it's time to actually say the price, and you want to anchor the price to the transformation they told you that they wanted earlier in the call. Now, by anchoring the price to that transformation, it makes the price seem a lot more reasonable and like a good investment. So this is how we like to say it in our script. To finally close high-ticket clients consistently, the investment is only $29.97. Now, once you've set the price, you want to be silent and don't say anything. Now, you're going to wait as long as it takes for them to respond, even if that silence lasts for several minutes. And this part is key, and this is really powerful. They can feel uncomfortable, but the silence gives them time to process and connect the dots. And you're really going to have to fight the urge to fill in the quiet or to keep talking. You want to let them think because in their mind, they might be trying to figure out how to break up the payment onto multiple cards, or they might be thinking about when one of their clients is going to pay an invoice. There's a lot of different things that could be happening for them at that moment, which is why we stay silent and we want to give them space.
Yeah, such an important point. All right, and now I'm going to share one of my favorite little pro tips with you, and it's something that I've done many times, and it has to do with this glass of water. So if your prospect looks like they need time to think, and you're just kind of like getting that vibe, one of my favorite things to do is to say, I'm going to go get a glass of water and I'll be back in a minute. So I actually turn my camera off if I'm on Zoom. I go to the kitchen and I give them a minute or two to think. And this gives them the space to think about it without feeling any pressure. So it's actually doing a service for them. Like I've honestly done this probably over 100 times in my sales career, and it's worked out really well. So yeah, give that a try if the right opportunity presents itself on one of your upcoming calls. All right, so the last thing that you need to sell confidently is to be good at handling objections. And most people think that objections are a sign that your prospect isn't interested, and that can absolutely lead to an immediate drop in your confidence. Okay, so here's the shift that we want you to make. If your prospect is even a little bit interested in your offer, they want you to handle their objections. Honestly, they want you to. And honestly, they expect you to, right? So if they're interested and they have objections, it's usually either because they've got unanswered questions, right? So you haven't answered all of their questions yet, or they don't fully see the value of your offer yet. So at this point, it's your job to figure out what the real objection is that's hiding underneath the surface, and you respond to that. Okay. So you want to know a really cool way to get better at recognizing hidden objections that totally tank conversion rates? Can anybody guess what I'm going to say? Drop in the chat. What's my favorite way to increase conversion rates on sales calls? Any guesses?
A lot of people are thinking about it.
Yeah. Thinking, thinking, thinking. All right, spoiler alert. It's AI.
Question.
So inside of our program, we give our clients a custom GPT that is fully trained on their ideal client and their offer, and it acts like your personal 24/7 sales coach. And we've built a lot of AI tools, but I can honestly say that this is my favorite AI tool that we've built, and it's designed to help you double your sales call conversions. So if you all are ready, I'm going to show you it in action. Okay. Let me go ahead and pull that up. Dee, dee, dee. All right. Let me share my screen. Okay, so you can see I'm inside my sales coach, and I've already primed this conversation just for the sake of time today. But what I did was copy and pasted a prompt in, and our prompt's basically saying, can you read the call transcript below and tell me where I may have missed objections, where there were missed opportunities, where my own limiting beliefs might have creeped in, right? And can you help me recognize these patterns? And then I put the entire call transcript right below that prompt. Now I have changed the name, so this was not the real name. This is a very old sales call when we first started selling one of our programs that I'm going to use for our demo today. Okay, so first it tells me where there were missed unspoken objections and what she was actually thinking. Okay, so it's over 3,000K here. Okay, so I saw your offer today, but for Australia, it's over $3,000. I want to know more. Like, how can I use it in my business? what she was probably thinking was, I'm not sure this is worth that much to me, especially in my currency. I like the idea, but I need a reason to justify this level of spend to myself and maybe to someone else. Okay, here's what I could have done. Okay, this was an opening to frame value versus cost. So she wasn't just asking about logistics, she was lightly testing if the program justifies the conversion pain. And so a strong reframe I could have said was, totally get that. The exchange rate adds a weight to the investment. But just out of curiosity, if this could help you close just 2 new clients with more ease and less hustle, would it feel worth it? Right? Instead, what happened was that the conversation shifted toward the tool logistics, and she got a feature explanation instead of a value bridge. Okay, so the cost stayed emotionally heavy for her, and I know for certain that this is one of the reasons why that call didn't close. She said, let me sit in my little circle and see if it's right for me. Okay. And what she was really thinking was, this sounds good, but I'm overwhelmed. I've spent money on other programs, scared of wasting my money or not using it properly. Okay, so she had this subtle anxiety that was masked by politeness and a little bit of humor, okay, as a softener. What I could have done was, immediately agreeing and wrapping, or instead of immediately agreeing and wrapping, I could have said, of course, can I ask, is it more of a question of whether you believe in the program or whether you believe you'll actually have the time and space to use it fully? Okay, this would have helped her feel seen, and I could have coached her through the fear of not showing up for herself. Okay. She also flagged unmet human needs, and we know that these unmet human needs are what drive buying behavior from clients, right? This is like understanding buyer psychology. So she wanted connection and belonging. She's felt undercover. She just said she's just starting to come out of the closet in her area. Okay, this was powerful for her because she was reclaiming an identity. And I really missed that opportunity on the call where I could have said, it sounds like you've been on a real journey of stepping into your voice again. I just want to acknowledge how courageous that is. So many of the women inside of the accelerator are in that same chapter, finding the courage to be seen on their terms. Okay. So then it goes into where your own limiting beliefs may slip in. Okay, so you softened at the end. Once she said, let me sit in my circle, I let her go too easy. There was no light challenge, no reframing of her hesitation, right? I was warm, but slightly over accommodating. So the pattern of letting someone think about it when they've already admitted it's right for them without offering a reframe is a sign you're avoiding potential rejection or conflict. And it's subtle, but here's what might be hiding beneath your instinct. I don't want to pressure her. If I push, she might disconnect. She's already said nice things. Let's just hope she buys. Okay. So we very often have these tiny little hidden beliefs that are showing up over and over again in our sales conversations, and they're really hurting our success. Okay. So once we can recognize these things and we can take steps to correct them, that's where we're going to see a big shift. So the reframe I could have had was like challenging someone to say yes to their future self. It's not pressure, it's actually leadership. You can hold space for fear and still lead them through it. Like, damn, that's powerful, right? I would probably put this on a post-it note and put it on my computer, right? So I'm looking at that and I'm stepping into that leadership on my sales conversations. And here it recaps the exact moments to adjust. So at this timestamp, here's what she said, here's what was unspoken, and this is what to say next time. Now, another really cool thing that it does is it helps you with a follow-up strategy. So I asked for the follow-up. It told us, okay, here are the 3 things we need to focus on. And then it wrote out step by step, okay, exactly what I should do. Now, what's really cool about this is it picked out from the call transcript that she was going to go on a drive after our sales conversation. And so it's telling me to send the first email 4 to 6 hours after the call, because that's when she's going to be finishing her drive. I mean, that is this like level of intelligence. I wouldn't have thought of that on my own, but the AI is highly, highly trained, right? Using our prompt to look at this. And so then it wrote the email for me. And honestly, I can tell you it does a really, really good job at it because it's pulling in all these points of the conversation. So any missed objections that you had in the conversation, it's going to make sure that it addresses them in the follow-up email. And I can tell you, like, we're doing sales calls for years. I never did that in my follow-up emails because I don't know, I didn't have the time or space, or I didn't have the understanding to even think about doing that. So incredibly, incredibly powerful. Um, okay, and then one other thing I want to show you real fast is if you actually get a follow-up call scheduled with a person, it can help you write the script for the follow-up call based on the conversation. So again, it's going to do the same thing. It's going to make sure that you're addressing any unmet objections, concerns, so that we bring them to the surface, right away, and we can make sure that we can move through them. And it even gives you suggestions on exactly what to say. If she hesitates around money, say this. If it's overwhelm or time, say that. If it's self-trust, say that, etc. So can you guys see why this is one of my absolute favorite AI tools that we've built? Like pretty freaking cool, right? Yeah. All right. So let me go ahead and share my screen one more time. Second. Okay. So that is our wonderful sales coach. So just kind of thinking about what you just saw and experienced, right? When we take the time to do this, now we know exactly where there's room for improvement on the sales call, and we can batch review our calls to see the patterns that are showing up over and over again for us. And I'm telling you, your patterns, like we all have these patterns there, and they are showing up over and over again on our sales calls. And this is what's keeping us where we are in our conversion rates. And to be quite honest, if I could be, that is a total disservice to your prospects when you're not actively taking steps to correct this because they need your help, right? And there's just some little things or beliefs that are getting in the way. And so when we can pinpoint these exact parts of your sales conversation where there might be weaknesses, and we take the steps to improve them, right? To improve how you respond, and you can actually implement them on your calls. I'm telling you, this is one of the absolute best ways to increase your conversions and actually enjoy selling because you're stepping into your power, you're stepping into leadership, and that feels really good, right? Does that make sense? So I wish I had this back when I was learning about sales and finding my way in it because I know I would have closed even more sales. I probably would have at least doubled my revenue. This is something that a lot of entrepreneurs pay thousands and thousands of dollars to sales coaches for and still can't get the level of precision and speed that AI can because it's already fully trained on your business. Okay. It's just, I don't know. I'm obsessed with it. I think it's really cool. And I think it honestly is it really changing how we are able to show up in our sales conversations. So would love to ask, so we're kind of wrapping the training part of our session today, but what's been most valuable to you, or what has really stood out as something that you want to implement? Could you put that in the chat? Let's see. All right, let's see.
Love the sales coach GPT, how to overcome objections. Let's see, I've also got some questions in here. Yeah, just seeing the objections and how to handle them. Most valuable, breaking this into pieces, a framework, but not rigid. Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, and we actually have a really cool objection handling framework that we teach. We don't have time to get into it today, but it's a framework that you can use when any kind of like hesitation or objection or fear comes up in a conversation. And it's so cool that you actually can just use a framework to follow so that you know how to handle these types of, experiences when they come up on your sales call. Sophie said everything. I like the script framework and dropping the price. Very cool. All right.
All
Awesome.
right. And I'm trying to keep track of the questions in the chat.
Okay, yeah,
But
we'll
we'll take
get
them
to
at the end.
questions really soon. Okay. So thank you everyone for sharing all of that. And I truly believe that if you got value from our session today, you are going to love what we can do together in our brand new 6-week authentic sales challenge. So if you're excited to take some next steps with us, can I share how that would look? Because I would really love to share it with you. All right. And before I do, thank you. Yeah, before I do, I'm just going to say this won't be for everyone, right? If you don't want to sell on one-on-one sales calls, like this is not for you. If you're not willing to get outside of your comfort zone a bit and stretch yourself and look at those things inside that might be holding you back, right? You don't want to grow. This is not for you. But if you are committed to building your sales confidence and to really increase your sales conversions in a way that feels good, this can freaking change your life. So, all right. The program is called the 6-week Authentic Sales Challenge. And this is really the culmination of what I've learned after taking over 2,000 high ticket sales calls for some of the biggest names in the coaching industry. And it's the way that I've actually, been able to bring my own heart, my own soul, my own essence into teaching sales and to helping others who want to feel really aligned in the way that they show up and sell. And so the core promise is that by the end of the 6 weeks, you'll have a fully custom, high converting signature sales script and sales system that feels like you so that you can sell confidently and authentically and close more high ticket clients on repeat, because that's the goal, right? And we're able to make a bigger impact that way. So what it is it's live weekly group training with us each week, homework assignments, teamwork, and accountability. If you can't make the calls live, there will be replays available, but we highly suggest trying to make the calls live if you can. And we've designed this challenge to be very high touch and high accountability for people who, pardon my French, want to get shit done. And they want to have a breakthrough in their business and they want to have a breakthrough in how they show up and sell. And to let everyone know, this 6-week challenge is intentionally designed as a space by women for women. We found that when women come together in a space that is rooted in empathy and emotional intelligence, something really powerful happens, right? They feel safer, more open, more seen. And so that's the space that we're creating. And because this is the very first time we're launching this challenge, you're not just getting a proven system that you're going to go be doing on your own, you're getting us in it with you. Okay. Like we're all in. And so we're keeping this round very intimate on purpose because we're going to be offering extra hand holding, feedback, and attention to every woman inside. So let me quickly take you through what it looks like. Okay, so there's 6 steps you're going to move through, one each week. Okay, the first one is mindset. So we're going to help you build rock solid confidence in yourself to step forward. Okay, so in your mindset, you're going to feel confident in yourself and confident in selling. And then the second step is understanding your audience through psychology and empathy and how to truly communicate the value of your offer so it's irresistible, right? And that way you're saying it with clarity and confidence. Okay, so those two things combined. Number 3 is your signature sales script, and this is the crux. So the core of the part of the program, and I see some questions. So yeah, by the way, if you got any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat and hang around to the end because we'll be answering all of them. So you've got your signature sales script, and then we do both 1 call and 2 call close, follow up, all the scripts, templates, everything you need. Step 4 is handling objections. So this is where we teach you that framework I mentioned. And we want you to know if your prospect is interested, they want you to handle those objections. So we create this great reframe and show you exactly how to do that. Step 5 is practicing with a partner, right? So yes, we have your AI partner to practice with, but we also have you practice with a human partner. So you'll be able to practice your sales script, building rapport, asking the right questions, objections. Really, this is about the art of selling. And then finally is your repeatable sales system. So this is setting you up so that you have consistency in your sales calls, your sales process, your follow-up strategy, right? So that you get the breakthrough that you want in your sales and it continues. Okay, so we'll show you how all that works. That makes sense? Right, so this is the structure. Mindset, audience and offer, signature sales script, handling objections, practicing, and then implementing. Okay. And by the way, AI is doing a ton of the heavy lifting for you throughout this process. So that is what we've been developing over the last 2 years is the AI strategies and tools that do the heavy lifting for you. Of course, you have to show up. Of course, you have to do the work and you have to implement, but AI is helping us speed up that process and helping us like laser pinpoint what the things are that we need to work on in our businesses so that we can succeed faster. And we're also sharing some really special bonuses that are honestly worth their weight in gold. First bonus is going to be your custom AI sales coach. So that GPT that you just saw me demo, it's going to be completely trained on your business and it's yours to keep forever. Value of this alone is well worth the price of admission, to be honest. And bonus number two, so we know, breakthroughs don't always follow a calendar. So the second bonus is you're going to get 6 additional weeks of coaching support after the challenge ends. Okay, so you're going to have additional accountability to really implement everything you learn. Bonus three, you're going to get our members only online community. And we're designing this really as a sacred space where you'll be with other brilliant female entrepreneurs for feedback and celebration as you grow. And finally, the fourth bonus, this is all of our scripts, checklists, templates, you name it, we got it. It's related to sales. So never wonder what to say or do next. It's all going to be laid out for you, really clear, actionable templates. All right. And we have a very special gift for anybody who's excited to jump in today. So if you're feeling like, heck yeah, this sounds like exactly what I need, and you jump in today with us, you're going to get our AI copywriter in a box. And this is your personal content creation assistant, right? It will write all of your emails, your email sequences, social posts, blogs, newsletters, more, whatever you want, in a fraction of the time and we train it to sound just like you. So this is a huge value add and it's only available to anybody who joins us today. Okay, we literally could not live without our AI copywriter at this point in our business. We use it every single day. And I know there are some people here who have their own AI copywriter who are also using it every day, right? All right, wonderful. All right, cool. So let us know in the chat if you're going to be joining us today and you're going to get that AI copywriter. Okay, so everything that I just shared, the 6-week challenge, custom sales script, right, our live coaching, the AI tools, all the bonuses, your practice buddies, templates, and the extended coaching is just $9.97. Okay, we also have 2 monthly payments of $547. So if you think about that for a moment, that's less than one high ticket client. So if you close even one additional sales call per month inside the challenge, you will have already at least doubled your investment, right? So we're going to go ahead and we're going to drop the link to join in the chat in a moment. But I also want to let you know that we fully back and fully believe in this program. So we have a 6-month money back guarantee. If you go through this program with us, you do the whole program, you implement what we teach, and you don't double your money, we will give you your money back. Okay. Honestly, we think you're going to make a whole lot more than that. But if you don't double your money, we will give you a refund. That's how much we believe in it. All right. You've obviously got to implement, you've got to use it, but we want you to change your life with this, and we know that it can. Okay. All right, so I'm going to have Lauren drop those links in the chat. So the doors are officially open. This is actually the official opening of our doors. We're really excited about this. We're going to be starting May 28th. Like I said, the calls are going to be at 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Eastern time consecutively for 6 weeks, right? That's going to be the training portion. And then they're also going to continue at that same time for an additional 6 weeks. So for 12 weeks total. All right, so you can go to the one-time payment link or the two-time payment link. Okay, that's where you can get started right away. So we're going to drop that link in the chat. Okay, and we're going to get to any questions that you guys have in a minute. But if you're on board, you're really excited about this, we're excited too. We can't wait to have you and support you. All right, there's actually
All right.
few of our
Yeah, I was going to say
clients.
Carlin's in, Kathy's in, Nicole's in, Phyllis is in.
Awesome. Oh,
Yeah.
yay. Actually, Carlin, would you be open to just sharing a little bit? So Carlin is one of our wonderful clients that we've been working with for a really long time. Would love to hear from you about why you're joining.
Thank you. And I'm sorry I jumped in late, but so good to
Hey.
be here. And so many faces I recognize. Like this is so great. I feel like all of these networking groups and things like that pull us together. It's been amazing, not only from the information that you have taught in a very systematical way that is user friendly. So even the things that you've shared with the hyperlinks to the documents and things like that, game changer for me. And not only in closing sales calls, so I'm super excited to do this challenge because I looked at my close ratio and I'm like, oh, it definitely needs tweaking. So I'm very excited about that and getting out of my comfort zone.
Yeah.
It frees up all this extra time. So what can I do with my extra time is to continue to build a curriculum in my business, and so it's like a win-win for me. It's a no-brainer. And it's really great to be on the front part of this technology. I think you guys are in it and live it every day. But when I'm talking to clients and my students in Pop Academy, it's mind-blowing to them. So I'm paying it forward, which is so wonderful because a rising tide lifts all boats, right? So thank you for continuing to pour into us and into me as I can help serve others in my space too.
Thank you, Carlin. That's beautifully said. Thank you so much. Yeah, we love having you as a client and building together with you. All right. Phyllis. All right. So let's see. Phyllis, did we answer your question?
Yes, yes. And I
Okay.
just want to say I have been working with you guys now for a while, and I have all of the things done. I have a beautiful offer, and I mean, things that I've had in my head for years, but could never really articulate them correctly. And when I say correctly, I mean in a way that could be understood by other people. It always made sense inside my head, but it didn't really get clarity. It didn't get clear. And now I'm at the point now where I'm so excited about what I've built. And the next step is the selling. So the timing on this is just perfect. And I am excited because I'm a GPT geek myself. And being able to have that sales coach functionality, that's the big thing because I love working with you guys. And this is going to be so fun to have you for 6 and 12 weeks. But then what? Now what? So it's just going
Yeah.
to feel very comforting and confident building to know that coach is going to be basically like the Lauren sitting here beside me forever. So I just think that's
Yeah.
just such an amazing benefit. And going along with the water, uh, the water thing that Carlin said, I look at it as you are helping me, and what I do is I help other people. So it's like that ripple effect where, you help me get better so that I can help more people and then they help more people. And it just feels like just an amazing, like she said, all the rising tide raises all boats. And it makes me feel really excited to be able to do this without having to take a 1 year course. I think with this can be done in 6 or 12 weeks. So I'm really excited. Thank you for the
Yes, we're
opportunity.
so excited to have you, Phyllis. Thank you. Yeah, we're gonna get shit done. All right, so let's answer questions. All right, so
Okay, let's
got
see. We've got Sue. She says, I'm in another coaching program right now and can't do two. When will this run again?
To be honest, Sue, we're not sure exactly, but we can keep you posted. We definitely want to get through at least the first 6 weeks before we start another round. So I'll be able to keep you posted on that. And Laurie asked, what if you aren't currently getting any leads? So really the foundation of this program is that you are taking at least a couple of sales calls already every month, right? So that we can practice that. So Laurie, if we want to talk via email, we can touch base on what you're doing right now to get leads into your business. And by the time we start on May 28th, maybe we can, have that change for you.
See, there was another question earlier. Can men join?
Oh, from Phyllis. So we did address that. Yeah. So this was a space that's for women only this time. Yeah.
I think I've been getting the other questions that are
Oh,
here.
Anne said, I'm scared to death, and Maya Nadeem is in also. I'm in but scared to death, and Maya Nadeem is also amazing. Hi, Maya. Hi, Anne. We're so happy to have you. It's going to be amazing. Yeah. All right. Any
I
other
roped her
questions?
in by text.
Oh,
She got roped in by text, not on the call, because
I
that's
love
how
it.
we
That's so
roll.
funny. Well, we know you both very well, and I can tell this is going to be it's going to be a game changer for you. So we're excited to have you. All right.
Sue says, what email do I email you on? So it's hi@clarityplaybooks.com. I just dropped that in the chat. If anybody has questions, let's see. All right. Any other questions?
All right. Amazing. I'll drop this in the chat one more time for everyone. You sure no more questions out there? We've got 2 minutes.
Any questions about the training or anything that came up about that? Any questions about the training or the program?
Oh, Lori said, if I have had many leads coming in every week, I would totally be down. I think it's too soon for me. Yeah, if you have even like 3 leads, like 3 leads a month that you're taking a couple of sales calls per month. Like this will totally be a huge help for you because at high ticket, even over $1,000, even closing 1 or 2 of those 3 leads a month that you might not be closing yet is going to make a huge difference for you. So,
And I'll share from my like place of ignorance, like being a tech person and not a salesperson. When I was learning about the structure of the pitch, which goes into the sales script, that's where my mind was really blown because that's like the core part of selling. It's the core messaging that you use. It's about the benefits and the results and being able to explain it. Even if you have a complicated offer, being able to explain it in a way that's really simple, clear, and easy for people to get. So even though inside of this program, you're just using the pitch in the sales conversation, it's going to have a ripple effect because you're going to get so much better at communicating the value of your offer in a way that's very simple, clear, and compelling.
yeah,
So yeah, it helps with everything.
so true. So
Yeah.
true. All right. Let's see if there aren't any other questions. We'll wrap up. It looks like we nailed it on the timing of this one. And just want to thank you all for being here with us today. We will be sending out a replay of this to all of you who registered. So if you go back, watch anything, you have any questions at all, feel free to shoot us an email. We're always happy to help. Thank you for spending an hour of your time with us today. We hope you took something really valuable that you can implement right away. And we'll look forward to seeing some of you inside of our 6-week Authentic Sales Challenge really soon. All right, take care, everyone. Ciao, ciao.